Every single day, more than 2 billion servings of Coca-Cola are consumed across the globe. It's sold in almost every country, recognized by billions of people, and worth hundreds of billions of dollars. But here's the real question. How did a drink that started as a small pharmacy experiment become one of the most powerful brands in human history? Was it really the taste? Or was Coca-Cola selling something far more valuable than a soft drink? Behind its iconic red logo lies a story filled with ambition, brilliant marketing, controversial decisions, global wars, and one of the greatest branding strategies ever created. This is the incredible story of how Coca-Cola built an empire. Every single day, more than 2 billion servings of Coca-Cola are consumed across the globe. It's sold in almost every country, recognized by billions of people, and worth hundreds of billions of dollars. But here's the real question. How did a drink that started as a small pharmacy experiment become one of the most powerful brands in human history? Was it really the taste? Or was Coca-Cola selling something far more valuable than a soft drink? Behind its iconic red logo lies a story filled with ambition, brilliant marketing, controversial decisions, global expansion, and one of the greatest branding strategies ever created. This is the incredible story of how Coca-Cola built an empire. To understand Coca-Cola, we have to travel back to the late 1800s. America was changing rapidly. Medicine was poorly regulated. Pharmacies were everywhere, and people were desperate for anything that promised better health. It was an era when miracle tonics and so-called wonder medicines flooded the market. Most of them made bold promises, but very few actually worked. One of the people searching for a breakthrough was a pharmacist named John Pemberton. A former Civil War veteran, Pemberton had suffered serious injuries and became addicted to pain medication. Like many pharmacists of his time, he spent countless hours experimenting with different ingredients, hoping to create something that would ease pain, restore energy, and improve people's lives. After years of experimentation, he developed a caramel-colored syrup unlike anything he had created before. Mixed with carbonated water, it produced a refreshing drink with a unique taste. In 1886, Coca-Cola was officially born. At first, it wasn't promoted as a soft drink. It was sold as a health tonic that claimed to reduce fatigue, relieve headaches, and improve concentration. Customers could buy a glass for just 5 cents at local pharmacies. But despite the bold claims, almost nobody noticed. Sales were disappointing. On most days, only a handful of glasses were sold. No one, not even Pemberton himself, could have imagined that this tiny pharmacy drink would one day become one of the world's most valuable brands. Unfortunately, Pemberton never lived long enough to see that future. As his health declined, he sold the rights to his struggling business. That decision would change the history of marketing forever. The man who bought Coca-Cola wasn't a famous inventor. He wasn't a brilliant scientist either. He was something much more dangerous. A marketing genius. The man who bought Coca-Cola was Asa Candler. Unlike Pemberton, Candler wasn't obsessed with creating the perfect drink. He was obsessed with making people remember it. At the time, Coca-Cola wasn't special. There were dozens of similar drinks across America. Most people couldn't even tell the difference. So Candler made a simple but revolutionary decision. Instead of competing on the product, he would compete on perception. He flooded cities with Coca-Cola signs. He placed the logo in pharmacies, train stations, shops, and busy streets. Everywhere people looked, they saw Coca-Cola. Then he introduced something almost unheard of at the time: free samples. Millions of coupons were distributed across the country, allowing customers to enjoy Coca-Cola at no cost. It worked brilliantly. Once people tasted it, many came back for more. Sales exploded. But Candler understood something even more powerful. People don't build emotional connections with ingredients. They build emotional connections with stories. So Coca-Cola slowly stopped advertising itself as medicine. Instead, it became the drink of happiness, friendship, relaxation, and good times. It wasn't just selling refreshment anymore. It was selling a feeling. As newspapers became more popular, Coca-Cola dominated their advertising. When radio arrived, Coca-Cola was there. When movie stars became celebrities, Coca-Cola partnered with them. When Christmas became one of the biggest holidays in America, Coca-Cola made sure its bottles appeared right beside Santa Claus. Year after year, the company wasn't simply buying advertisements. It was buying space inside people's memories. Soon, something incredible happened. Even people who had never tasted Coca-Cola recognized its famous red logo. The drink had become much bigger than the liquid inside the bottle. It had become a symbol, and that symbol was about to spread far beyond America. At the time, Coca-Cola was mostly served fresh at local soda fountains. Very few people imagined it could become a bottled drink sold everywhere. In fact, even Coca-Cola's own leadership wasn't convinced. When a group of businessmen proposed bottling Coca-Cola for mass distribution, many believed it was too expensive, too risky, and simply unnecessary. But the deal went through, and almost overnight, everything changed. For the first time, people no longer had to visit a pharmacy to enjoy Coca-Cola. They could take it home, carry it to work, or enjoy it anywhere. That single decision transformed Coca-Cola from a local beverage into a national obsession. Soon, the company expanded far beyond American borders. But its biggest opportunity arrived during one of the darkest periods in human history: World War II. While countless businesses struggled to survive, Coca-Cola saw an opportunity that would reshape its future forever. The company's president made a bold promise. Every American soldier, no matter where he was stationed, would be able to buy a bottle of Coca-Cola for just 5 cents. Keeping that promise wasn't easy. Factories had to be built near military bases across Europe, Africa, and Asia. The investment was enormous. But Coca-Cola wasn't thinking about short-term profits. It was thinking decades ahead. As soldiers traveled across the world, Coca-Cola traveled with them. Millions of people tasted the drink for the very first time. When the war finally ended, the soldiers returned home. But Coca-Cola stayed. The bottling plants remained. The distribution networks remained. And so did millions of brand new customers. It was one of the smartest long-term business strategies ever executed. By the 1950s, Coca-Cola was no longer just an American company. It had become a global empire. But as the empire grew larger, so did the criticism, because behind the smiling advertisements, a much darker story was beginning to emerge. As Coca-Cola expanded across the world, it also attracted growing criticism. Health experts questioned the amount of sugar in its drinks. Environmental groups accused the company of consuming enormous amounts of water in regions already suffering from shortages. Others criticized its political influence, marketing practices, and business decisions in different parts of the world. Whether every accusation was fair or not, one thing became clear. The bigger Coca-Cola became, the more difficult it was to separate the brand from controversy. But surprisingly, none of those challenges became Coca-Cola's greatest crisis. Its biggest mistake came from something much simpler: its own product. By the 1980s, Pepsi was gaining ground. Blind taste tests suggested that many consumers actually preferred Pepsi over Coca-Cola. For the first time in decades, Coca-Cola was afraid. Executives believed they had only one option: change the formula. After months of research and consumer testing, the company launched what became known as New Coke. On paper, it looked like the perfect decision. Most people in blind taste tests preferred the new recipe. The data supported it. The research supported it. Everything suggested it would succeed. Instead, it became one of the biggest marketing disasters in business history. Customers were furious. Thousands of letters flooded the company's offices. Phone lines were overwhelmed with complaints. People weren't angry because the new drink tasted bad. Many admitted it actually tasted good. They were angry because Coca-Cola had changed something they believed was part of their identity. For nearly a century, Coca-Cola had become more than a drink. It had become a memory, a tradition, a symbol. Realizing its mistake, the company brought back the original formula just a few months later. Almost instantly, sales recovered. Customer loyalty became even stronger. Ironically, one of Coca-Cola's greatest failures ended up reminding the world why people loved the brand in the first place. And perhaps that's the biggest lesson from Coca-Cola's story. The company didn't build one of the world's largest empires because it created the best soft drink. It built an empire because it mastered something far more valuable: perception. People rarely buy products based on logic alone. They buy trust. They buy familiarity. They buy emotion. And for more than a century, Coca-Cola has sold an idea far bigger than the drink itself. An idea of happiness, togetherness, and unforgettable moments. Whether you admire the company or criticize it, there's no denying one fact. Coca-Cola didn't just change the soft drink industry, it changed the way the world thinks about branding forever.